Jesus' name.
Amen.
Good afternoon, viewers. This is Moment with Papa J. I am Udochukwu Homa, the anchor of today's program. Here with me is Papa J. We are concluding on the last series, the place of counseling in a relationship. And we stopped at monetary value in a relationship. And today, I have some other questions to ask my honorable guest. Now, Pastor, I want to ask, or please, can you tell us the most important aspect in a relationship?
All right, thank you. You know, we've said a lot of things from last week's edition. We talked about the place for structure. We talked about the place for finance and all that. We cannot pinpoint most important place in a relationship. But as a way of recap to help our viewers understand where we are coming from and to where we are going, it's important to know that relationship is for mature people. We saw that last time. And that this maturity is not necessarily by age. There is a need for psychological maturity beyond physical maturity. There is a need for emotional maturity. We also saw the need for structures. Every relationship needs a structure. And we also saw why is it necessary to have a counselor. Why? We needed a counselor because for constructive reasons and for destructive reasons. And I will explain. Some persons come for counseling when the marriages have hit the rock. At that point, what we do, we are only trying to manage, trying to construct. But when you come for counsel, before you begin a relationship, you are constructively guided to avoid some things. All right? And so, which place is more important? Of course, the most important part of a relationship are the people. The man and the woman. Because without the two mature adults, there are no relationship. And so the most important part of any relationship are the personalities involved. Because the personality of the person you are dating or you're about to marry matters a lot. As a woman, you might have a lofty dreams, brilliant ideas of what you want to achieve in life. If you marry the wrong person, all of your dreams, aspirations go down the drain. And so for me, the most important aspect of any relationship is the person of your choice.
Okay, I heard you say something.
Yes.
You said something about them coming together first to have a counsel before they go into the relationship.
Yes.
And now we have series of people who have gone for counseling.
Yes.
Depending on the pattern of the counseling, either by the church. Some used to be for 4 months, some for 6 months.
Yes.
And after the counseling, we have seen marriages that couldn't even last 24 hours. So what can you say concerning that? Is it that the counselor didn't teach them properly? Or that they went for the counseling and couldn't put into place what they actually had in their counsel?
All right, it's important to straighten some things. The counseling you go to your church, like a prerequisite for marriage, some churches have 6 months, some have 4 months. That is not even the counsel that I mean.
Okay.
The counsel begins from the choice of a partner. Because when you come to the church, oh, we want to marry, and as our standard, we have 6 months premarital counsel. That 6 months premarital counsel, something precedes it. You have met yourself. You have been dating. You've come to a point that you want to get married. Then you approach the church. And so the church cannot, within these 4 months, nullify your relationship. No. Because you have probably known yourself for 2 years. So the premarital counseling I mean is getting someone to counsel you even before you begin a relationship. For example, who should I marry? The church wouldn't be telling you that 4 months to your marriage. No. But before you start a relationship at all, who should I marry? What should I look out for? What are the red signs? What are the boxes that need to be checked before I say, yes, I love you? No, I can't do. Do you understand? And so that they came for 6 months, 4 months marriage counsel and marriage never lasted doesn't necessarily mean the church or the council never did a good job. A lot of things can make that to happen. One, the choice of your partner. It matters a great deal. How you were chosen, it matters a great deal. You can marry anywhere, but where you see your spouse matters. Do you understand? And so the foundation of the beginning, the foundation of the relationship matters. So how you start this thing called relationship, it's about metamorphosing into marriage is key. So for me, what I call pre-marriage counseling is not the mandatory church one we do to be wedded. It is the one you get exposed to seeing a man and knowing this man doesn't look what I want. For example, you just met a guy, he likes you, and then he tells you he works, and by 10 a.m. he's sleeping at home. He's not on leave. Even if he's on leave, by 10 a.m. he's stretching on the bed. I mean, any serious lady should check it. By 10 a.m., this young man I called him is sleeping. Even if he's on leave, I repeat, he should have very good way to spend in his sleep, other than sleeping.
Like,
do you get what I'm saying? So the premarital counsel are the things you need to know that determines your choice of a partner. But when you approach the church that you want to marry, the pastor or the church cannot say, no, don't marry this person. The church is going to be telling you how to live in the marriage. I get what I'm saying. But I need to know some things about ladies before I even get to marry.
okay, now I'll ask again. What if after a lady must have brought a man
Yes.
to introduce
Yes.
to the church, and with all the counseling and everything by the counselor, thinking that they actually know this person, and at the end of the day, due to we human, the way we are structured, are prone to change.
Yes.
And so what will now become of that relationship at the end of the day?
When they discover
discover-
the counsel that
Yes,
they cannot go
they
together,
cannot go together.
what should they do?
What should they do?
Now, I think some things are we need to tell our viewers of church. Before you approach the church that you want to come for counsel, culturally, I repeat, culturally, it must have been endorsed. No sensible pastor will conduct a marriage counseling class for intending couple when the both families have not given consent. And so, the church does not even have the power to tell these two people you can't continue. They must go back to the tradition. Because there are forms of marriages in Nigeria and everywhere in the world. In Nigeria, we have the native law and custom. First. So no pastor should counsel anybody for marriage counseling without the consent of the lady's parents. Both parents. Traditionally, it's important. It's very important. And so traditionally comes first, then before the church. Now, that doesn't mean the church will not be involved traditionally. No. But the church must respect that first and foremost, these people should have the endorsement from native law and customs. Now, the church can decide to counsel them before they go. What if the church finishes counseling them and they approach the village and the both parties refuse to agree? It nullifies the counsel. So pastors shouldn't be quick to counsel. Ensure they have checked the traditional box. That both parties have agreed. Then you can counsel them according to the dictates, tenets of the church, ushering them into marriage. You get the point? So if peradventure, within the course of counsel, either party discovered that they can't flow, I'll say this clearly. Broken engagement is better than broken home.
Yes.
No matter how painful it is.
Yes.
It is better you come discuss. Apologize to either party. and go separate ways. This is where the structure in the first session comes in. If I discover as a lady that, oh, I can't go with you anymore, I should just come and say that, I'm sorry, Queen, I can't marry again. That's not right of me. I should go back to my structure, either my pastor, the person should believe in, explain to them reasons why the separation is good for both of us. And in the spirit of humility and love and understanding, convey to the party. So yes, during counseling, either party can go separate ways, but how we present it also matters.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yes, sir.
I want to ask another question.
Please go ahead.
You'll see a boy and a girl cohabiting, living together.
A boy and a girl.
And a boy and a girl, boyfriend and girlfriend,
okay,
living together.
Yes.
I want to ask, is it right for them to go for counseling?
Already cohabiting.
Already cohabiting.
Going for counseling.
Going for counseling, yes.
Now, like I said, counseling is in various phases. All right? Now, there is a pre-marital counseling. There is a post-marital counseling. There is a counseling after children start coming. All right? Yes, counseling continues. And we are there to help them.
Okay.
All right. Now, for a young man and a young lady already cohabiting, I will not want to throw the religious card. Because I'm a pastor, I can be quick to say, it's a sin. I must respect that there are other religions, and there are other religious practices, and there are other cultures, and there are other cultural practices. All right? Now, marriage is consummated when both parties agree that their children should begin to live together as man and wife. Now, if the family had agreed with a token called the bride price, and they start living together, they have 100% done right. Now, if afterwards they decide to let us go to the church because they really wants to put on their white gown or they want to travel abroad, traditionally, marriage is consummated without the church. Without the church. And so, cohabiting should be defined. Is it before they went to take the consent of their parents or after they get the consent? Now,
I'm talking based on before.
Yes.
Both of them decided by themselves to live together now, without telling their both families.
I will tell you now the danger of cohabiting.
Okay.
One thing ladies and guys should know: anybody you cohabit with can never trust you.
Why?
Because by the instinct of man and by our make, we know in our subconscious, staying with a man you call your husband has some processes to be followed.
Yeah.
So when a man breaks the process to get you, he can trust you. When you cannot keep a process to stay with a man, he can't trust you. Because for you, he break the process. For you, he break the law. It's very simple. Now, you're not married to this young man. You're sleeping with him. You wash his clothes. You go out together. You hang out. You take beer. You take pepper soup. And you are happy. He finally gets you married legally. Tomorrow, you don't want him to go and take pepper soup. You say you should not go out and take one bottle. That's even yourself. Because while you were cohabiting, he was doing that. If he didn't change to get you, he cannot change to keep you.
Well, don't you think it's based on an African mentality?
That.
So we will take it to the outside world.
Yes.
You see both parties cohabiting together.
Yes.
And after a while, if they decide by themselves that they want to now get married, they will now formalize it and tell the both families, okay, now they want to do it. Or they want to make it open.
Yes.
Don't you think it's because it's an African mentality?
Now, this brings us to another deep concept of culture. All right. We are quick to make America, the UK, as a case study. Don't forget, those countries have lost their culture. Their formative years as a nation, they had culture. Today, they have no culture. They have no definition by that. They don't have it. Africa, we still have our culture. And unfortunately, our culture is quickly eroding because of westernization or civilization, as it were. All right? But we cannot but praise Africa for that culture. The Bible says marriage is honorable, the bed undefiled. Not an African statement, it's the biblical statement. And so, because they do it abroad, where once you are 18 and above, you can go and live it up with your guy. They don't call themselves husbands or wives, they call them partners, right? So, at 18, according to their law, let us get this known. At 18, according to their law, you are entitled to such a relationship. At 18. It's not a culture, it is a law. Africa has a culture, we don't have the law. So when a man keeps a lady in his house that is 17 plus, he goes to jail. Because it's against the law. One of the crimes of R. Kelly that is in jail till date was because he dated a lady less than 18. Even though they got to know after the girl was over 18. They said, no. The first time you met her, she was less than 18. So they had the law. So we're quick to quote a country that have a law. They don't have culture, we have culture. They have law, we don't have law. In Nigeria, a girl of 14 is still with a man. Even in a man's house. It can't happen abroad. So let us balance the two. They had the working law. We had the culture. We have trained our culture for their practice. But they had the law that governs them. So it is important. So the truth of the matter is this. Cohabiting by any standard is not right. Going by Western world, once you are 18, you are entitled to stay with a man. Now listen, not just a man. That's a mistake people make. You are entitled to your decision. It is called that you have gotten to the age of accountability. At that point, you are no longer a minor. But in Nigeria, 18, you are paying school fees for your son.
Yes.
So he's still a minor. He is 21, you are sending him school fees. He is 25, why are you going to my mommy's house? At 24, you are buying him clothes. So let us balance these diversities, all right? So, but cohabiting in any standard does not do any partner good, especially the female gender. The guy won't trust you. He got you for cheap. If he has value for you, if you have worth, he will do the right thing. He will go to your parents and officially request that you become his wife, and he gives you honor in his house. That's my tip.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
I want to also ask you another question. As a counselor, if you decide now you want to get married, do you need to go for counseling since you have great knowledge already about relationship? Do you need a counselor to counsel you?
Yeah. Every counselor needs a counselor.
Okay.
To every state of your life, there are persons you are looking up to. And so, if I want to take major decision, there are persons that are older than me in this school. I go in the spirit of humility, submit myself to them and be taught. And so what you think I know, there are millions I don't know. And so I'm still pressing forward to knowing more. So as a counselor, I also have a counselor. I have a spiritual father. I call and ask him questions. I do that, yes.
Okay. Another question. Can counseling help after divorce?
You know, I said counseling is in stages. There's a pre-marital counsel. There is a post-marital counsel. There is the pre-divorce counsel. And there's a post-divorce counsel. Before divorce proceedings is initiated, there is the need for both parties to be counsel. Because, permit me to do this quickly. Let us say this is one hole.
Okay.
When you are married to your spouse, you are one. What divorce do is to tear you apart.
Yes.
No matter how you tear, it cannot be evil. So you need to be told that the journey of divorce can never make you complete afterwards.
Okay.
You can never be smooth. Your life cannot be straight. You can only be managed. It is a bitter truth men and women refuse to accept. So there is a need for pre-divorce counseling affects the children and affects the couple.
Because why I ask this is I have seen a case where two people got divorced.
Yes.
After years, the family decided, because of the children, wanting to bring them together.
Okay.
To see if it can be managed.
Yes.
So now, with what I've had you say, that means it can never be like the way it used to be. It can only be managed. That means in that relationship, they will only be living in pretense.
Okay, from what you just said, I don't want to call that divorce. I want to call that separation.
No, I'm talking about divorce. After papers must have been given.
Yes.
The one I've seen. Yes. Because children have grown. And they decided that, oh, this shouldn't be. The family found a way to maybe to bring them together.
Bring them back to get remarried. Or are they
to get remarried for the sake of the children that have grown because of the name.
Okay. Now, point of correction. It is important to note what was the cause of the initial divorce. And I will sound this to my viewers. Having children is not the reason to stay in a marriage.
Okay.
I repeat. Having children is not the basis to stay in a marriage. Children are a product of a healthy marriage. It is the beauty and the color of any marriage. But that should not be the reason why warring parties should stay. It shouldn't be. If there must be any reason for them to come back, they are adults. They, both of them, should agree unanimously, not because the family said, not because of the children. They've gone apart and they've seen the need to come together. Wow, they can make wonderful home.
Wow, it's nice having you in the house. Our Honorable PJ, thank you once more. Thank you, viewers, for watching. And I hope you like and subscribe to this channel. God bless you. Thank you.
God bless you.